So a difference of about $4,000 per ton biya na ayede.
Kessben.
Ena aba betoso. Intinia air konene ne se enka 2024-25 season year yewumi. Sa 333,000 no. Say if it had not been a year rule over na ye na enka ubehun se sika we ye ton no at the
the actual price.
Yeah, which is the 6,600. But because was ye eno 333,000 eco services are a kana yenti mi anye day. Entry and intino. Ye lose every ton biano $4,000. At least a day. It was so.
Because more the cocra, you don't get the current.
No, you will not get the current.
Until omoji cocoa na the previous price.
The previous price, no.
Okay.
So what I say, waji and who's kana a day.
What do
you know?
But went me and produce.
Went me and supply omo. So as it stands now, no. Yet to me, a day, I deliver over 200,000. Until it's a Utie president. President Kase Cocoa Board bought a Kebi, which is about $810 million. Emunchechi muno, no. Say because of the rollover, I yet to me supply over 200,000 out of the 333,000. No. Every ton biana a bulk over $4,000. No. If you do the arithmetics and answer calculations, if you pick the 200,000 as against the $4,000 now, and then the amount ASR $800 million now present econo. But yen supply that 333,000 in a no. Na Cocoa Board lose over $1.4 billion. Over $1.4 billion. Asa $1.4 billion no sika senka anye the inefficiencies on the part of the previous administration now. Possibly nka sika we in abede ebeko cocoa for her. So these are some of the issues that we are dealing with now. Aside the $32.5 billion about 3 days ago, the former chief executive Ebeji Tumu said, oh yes, now I was say we take certain decisions and we take here, but say we shouldn't dwell on a canon qua. We should look at the other side. And I said the profit side of a Cocoa Board money. So this is a clear admission. Say a kabisi day akoso.
Okay.
Quite unfortunately, about 2 days ago, minority and so a more press conference be a can in same but enquiry no. There will be a decisive statement on what omoye day. Omoye no. But ubisa on the whole, the picture at Cocoa Board no. It doesn't look too good. But adia say all decisions, all policies, or all programs of Dr. Ransford Abbey, towards say you beat me a free ohana ye woman na kuku nina or no sebeka fro. It is no fault of his or hers no. Or no en safa. And I say unya insunsans boni biya den. Ewo ono so intina jumedia yidi no to the betterment of cocoa creani. And I strongly believe say before say the baby cocoa season, and this time around it will be around October, August, September. And before that all the committees are was in place to talk about the new cocoa price piano omo ebeya me say de asumje particularly on the part of cocoa creani.
Now I asked that because UTA commentaries are eba now. Ghana for the one I said more promise you cocoa for say more better cocoa over 6,000 per bag, right? The not share any more say more kind budget here we operation cost so season never shares here no as I said cocoa tomorrow no said more promise you doing the campaign no it me eba and it looks like if say many of the people are raising concerns we know concerns are non-negotiable for them.
Unim me speaker unim baby am fiba. So as I say, me fi Western North. And Western North and so there obi or Western North biya no enya cocoa ho faso. Enti no se me menya cocoa ho faso na me fi Western North many nipa utwatoa mekase ebia cocoa kuafo onye den. Emre.
Okay.
So as I say, because Sebeka fro insa ema waduane de ni ntwa anye den yɛntwa mfa ntwene
Yeah.
nti ne sɛ nnɛ yɛte ha na sɛ yɛdu baabi aduru a woyi nyankopɔn ne yɛahofo si nkyɛn a cocoa nankasa has been a major contributory factor.
Okay.
Idea about bedru baby I had a yedri. Intini sending po yabeda so nanka kuku ya to one bag even 500 million pa. Many bedding ebechi because me man for na a walk kuku growing areas, Western North money ad in particular no. O ma brabo bedding ebekoye. Okay. Now so no, here are the issues. One, say ene ye to kuku ne 500 million. Nasa all that's why inpo na kuku no ebi ni hwa. Sebeka fro. Me hu faso e woso mpacho so ati ase iti de edi kan ye wo se ye ne se e wo se ye safeguard ye the cocoa nankasa the sustainability of cocoa nankasa e wo se itimi ye den e sustain and sabeka for cocoa kwene no ono ankasa ntimi mfa ne botum sika anya den and sustain cocoa no so cocoa board will have to make investments to secure a cocoa industry ni say ye den e wo ho number 2 Cocoa board was say yen to make it attractive. Said there a even aging farmers are or my day no. Omubenya replacement. Omuma any bimba bed ever replace. Said there you benya continuity. Then was sector anymore. Now we are. Then we come to the motivation aspect of it. Because there were other motivating aspects, which is be providing fertilizer, money, pesticides, money, a year. Giving them education through a cocoa health and extension divisions money ade now so paying for self to be anywhere change didi anameboa so the other motivating factor which will be the last motivating factor no be at the price of a cocoa nankasa but just what is the price of cocoa nankasa now as we speak today so last year out to even the early days of January before saying this about power now per ton amansen just cocoa bone that was around $10,000 or even more dollars per ton but zigawaha opa mon Google share even the price of a cocoa per ton I drop it from almost 11,000 out to around 7,000 something and the empire buy year bo money they say price in the bit in your day ejina okay, price in bit me because the price keeps on dropping. More you are more elite. Ubeti me check as we speak. And you know, it is not about say kuku ni no omuntu. And amagaze me meti hey. And oba betie the conversation of chief executive.
Yeah.
Or Junity said they are Ghana for bibri na Junity and they say it was say kweni no. Enya son faso. So what I say, kweni nankasa na oye ni hunu say yeah me bre so mfaso ni e wo say mitumi e dey edi because you understand the difficulties akuku kweni no dey efam because me many omo na tena say dwuna say emoni ade makwafuo mu menana meka yesusa mini misina brother ona ho akando bunze ye nana okwefo asata bia ye untumi nyehwe but omuna no mo ye mpayfo but udi akire so what I say and you see the sufferings are omo de omo be famu be ba be hata obeba be yesi na ne yi yempo ni say o hata no nti kokoku ani ni koko na begu apaso no onko nunumu dane no obeba mpo sabe po na ne ho nyina aye den sabe ayenyan okay they pass through all these things until we understand the difficulties omo den omo ewomu
but the assurance cannot be given sir.
No, you see,
I mean encosi the opening of the major opening season
yes
I mean the promise amode because this were very emphatic
yes we
say koko ne bo no wodwaman so no e konanim kakra enti ebo a sese Ghana ban e de ma Ghana kuafo no onto koko ne sa momo ba the sese moton mo beto no now the average thing is that the average Ghanaian na expect hwe animo enti assurance no den na yento aso nkoye
enti the assurance and said they are okay Kessben me prenya ye ginami ya wo bibia e na light crop and as a mid crop season so what I say
yeah
e fi na ye be the major crop season which abribia na ye October ko and I mean indicate say this time round September you bet me and be August September that is what our management is considering now before say ye be season it is non-negotiable. Say a new announcement concerning price every day.
Exactly.
Eba. That's what I say. And the whether I say move to move or moon to move, whether I say ijinahu, there should be an announcement of the
price
of price. For just what I say. And you know, you were just about 2-3 months be a day. Ewe anymore. Your best say a year Ghana for Niku for in particular. Ye numun so nye day and chain ope na yen share a baby as you sign the body job day. So the assurance is that before the opening of a year cocoa season, there will be an announcement. Okay. A year a boho. Into yen day yen chain na yen share baby in that regard.
Very well. May I say it is only 27 minutes after 8. Your numbers no 0550-567-929 0550-567-929. Now Endra minority no dom kumane on rashe bedwem no ending some for a kasaye na ninyina no efa Chief Justice ma me Gertrude Togo no the removal of her say ye be in a fair konya so say ye no omampanyin say wenya petitions ahodo or the petitions number no wahwem or the response akomo mampanyin afi minority ni say one more tete say kwan biara so aban no pese oyi Chief Justice no edifri ho ma yenko na yentie minority some trofo nhemu de enra wo mo ye no emra yeba to us.
It is in the light of the above that we see the spurious petition for the removal of the CJ as a serious setback to our democratic journey. We are aware it is in the light of the above that we see the spurious petition for the removal of the CJ as a serious setback to our democratic journey. We are aware of the petition. The purpose of the petition we have gathered is to malign the head of the judiciary, orchestrate her removal, and thereby silencing the judiciary.
Kessben.
And finally,
the video though must the way I panel we'll get it back and then play it for you. But awa Muhammad Atunase, my member na member na kwab. Awa morning. Na empom to say
Nyamiadum. That was yes.
Already adaro. Yeah, party mo to say.
Oh, Nyamiadum. Bibi ekoso enra bi adefefe koso kama enti eguswa ye hyehyɛ no ma se ne be ya yebetimi asan babium na yetimi awini elections no Ghana for bebre dia pinisie Ghana for brepa within the last year 3 months ayehu o mayumu esanse wo hwe started from adwumafo akatua
the last 3 months o mayumu ayehu
yes so started free adwumafo akatua from 25% about 10%. And again wo hwe electricity ebo bebia akodru watu akatua by only 10%. Now electricity ebo 14.5% just 1 quarter. In the last year 2024 no, according to PURC cumulatively we can nyina aboma 6.4%. In the first quarter na 14% ayehupa again we share galamsey bebia your friends menu yi free work koko assembly na keka o yanhwe ya intimate koko 100,000 tons cra essence we share the galamsey no this time around with impunity make I say me about studio ha ema oka Oscar Oforilabi and I friend say sir I will win MP no say yes omo ye press conference ahemfo kra ye press conference China sufiri krom ho say oma nkrofo ewura sa
the station apologize isn't it
owura sa we friend say kwaye no mu a omo gi 200,000 ahemfo ebe ye press conference e kan ya omo China sufiri krom ho and na wo hwe cocaine any we friends say money laundering yete ha and national security be ka kire en say Sapiman omakochi containers makomako 28 na ye sika na gum any gold ni na kika ho say o alaji bidia e buy kra de kan alaji nkrofo say o e bia ba o mi ano no up to now you hu alaji kro nipa warehouse no any dia na yenche no yenye ne hwe for the last 3 months there Ghana for are becoming exasperated by the day so wakokoma se nansan a wo rebe ho so wo drew between anyinam and osino kronumu ena ye galamsey say with impunity kronumu first in the obe say bia e kire kakra but say the kronumu ankasa un say ukodru ufre anyinam na ukodru
bridge ne so ana
yes aha wo da bi ko anim kakra bia obe say krobi teacher bibibi asamantam for un say omo bypass keto bi on the left say bia na wura kromu ho a wo rebe ho kronu nyina da ne tsa park ye galamsey nkwa e wo ho. So it is worsening by the day, and I'm penning for so say omuchi nkrofo a omo de omo ebeko omuchi China for na omo de omo ko abruche in violation with the yemra pon yawo emra kire say anka wo say ujele be up to 25 years we are now aside deported na kondukurum say na Aisha Juan ba ya san ye na sisi oda jail no so oman ni mu de heading pa na me nua so te ha
3 months pay no man mu ayedin
yes because we say Ghana for nyina ka hwe ene na KMA boss say oba obetwe aba ahwe emayi a omoton no ma ewo pavement so na keka ho nana kwesi agimai ye nyina ete say okumkom na o use so high handedness in handling commerce but wantwe aba ntwa obi ato ukasa ubetu se ni paro tama na oye KMA boss ya kai se ni fie okro from hono sana na for kai ka kese amfa ho saka kitu akra fa hono obo aban ya ebeti ba chiwo exactly well but enye no that time na bejimi bre that is in the 90s there utimi ye ene de your citizen journalist uti wa na obi atwa de asendo ene mreme o say me bebo eye emano beto omo because only tax force for nanam unse NDC for more tax force 1 and 2 any bakubi motor riders 1 and 2 kumasi omo ho ono e omo commander okay say nansen omo ye sa council of state elections on the command omo do omo buy on be disrupt to the process it is a zuba ene baby a oman na dru say be bedru kumasi na wo ho a na uti pavement so amebo. Why can't you say bi anopa ahomache obeba na city gas and police gina ho nti umbi gina ho kra na what is it normal simple but o kwasa obeto na obeba bebo no nkwa na onam dia fine but oba na o boys no 10 nti wono wa hyehye nipa kra o de omonamu arrogance of power say oba ya o ti ukam na o boys 10 etifika bo ene na hwe nkrofo o say omokuta mfia ebehwe emano. You see, anytime I catch you say in the last 3 months, no Ghana for to abanu omo ho. Tudo na eka. Ene ye to aba. Hwe Musa Danko akra de ni statistic aba into in February. Wasi okoye hwehwemu no na Ghana for makomako 72%. And I can say oman no eko the right direction. Last month they buy wasi adru 62. Oye post will say Ghana for approval level for President Mahama in February was seen at 72%. And at so by 10% was say 62%. Until you can imagine say Sakomino Ekusi Adia minim the ABC.
Okay. My answers here in free CJ issues then
Kakrebi on
minority
Onya appointment. Just to congratulate him on air. Onya appointment na that time na me ya kom chine kakra. Eti manko radio anko yenti mami congratulating. But anopai o mami e disappointed kakra. Say
na djuma mu asem na na wo.
Yes, na djuma mu asem no. Say na djuma mu no very important because say me ba no. Me tese me ne ba no me say first 30 minutes ne be interview on Cocoa Board. Say a fitting issue me say o call a scrap fra obisa o say dia to force in car 7,000 no e kusi sen. Ene obisa na untimi nkasa with precision. You are supposed to be the PR of another head of corporate communications of Cocoa Board. You speak with precision. Mubetuma na se muntum. We say, oh, that time there 10,800 maybe. Was it 10,800? Almost 11,000. And I will say around 7,000, 8,000. Say 7,000, 8,000. Cry. Yeah, 3,100. We see there be able to make 7,000. It will see. You bet me the 4,000 account. It young fan say a tiaba from Krana. Oh, the 4,000 now kind of for 2,000 kahuna yes, 5,000. What Ghanaians are expecting, especially cocoa farmers, and they say a betum, a do 6,000, 7,000 now. You can't say you repair off. The Western no, agriculture minister will say Ghanaian farmers are being ripped off. Ye bugana a cocoa for Afaso. Could you form a tomb? Into Mr. Ramo. At the end, the committee being or any president per se was set up a cocoa board border. A year, even a day to do that. Because there are institutional representations or the Akai Kakre be a president by appointing pa by 5 and 6. Others near institutional representation. Any year the president cast up a so constitute cocoa board a year.
They are in the institutional representation.
Some say Minister of Finance, the Deputy Minister Beba.
So, no, what?
Me say
board no one
board.
Which board?
Cocoa board no.
So let me help you.
Yes. What's the board no and you're ready and some committees in here ready.
Let me help you. You see, said okay, we mean.
But it's not born of
no, that be uti. Do you know why? Do you know why I am me a bit relaxed when say ebia omo kan the issue of pricing and a honky count. Me a bit relaxed because me hey, my indicate earlier say cocoa. Say even you better sorry. Near ton cocoa even 50,000. Wait.
Time I mean we share piece of FM. O kasa obino no aye din cocoa performance ni yesisi wo no. And no na pesa wo san kire mu say ye betum. That's all. The here is
when you catch you say before the opening of the season announcement beba.
Yes. We say ye betum na ye ntumu a eno de beba.
No, speaker mami.
Ma ye who say ye betum because the wo ka kire akuafo na here. Wo me no share piece FM studio. E ma ka kire me say oh ye report mu off baby a free no na keka ho ene o ka tell me say price in any account massa betum
speaker in any case even as a director of public affairs of Cocoa Board it is not me. It doesn't lie as part of my duty or responsibility to announce cocoa price.
I know, but the American say, wait. Talk with precision. Say, I am upbeat because you stated management. You communicate it. You communicate it because
it is not an issue. Say, be able communicating or not because me and I make a chuba say, you cocoa farm. And this year 2 more. Are you think that me both 2 many a day?
Very well, but you know what? Yes, season we have months ahead of us.
So just
you do one of this statement, Bebani.
Just relax. You understand? Just relax.
What's the statement, Bebani?
Jeremy Shas here was should have been on the CJ remover. Any allegations I ever say by hook or crook? Mube CJ the nephew.
Speak Chief Justice and Sansamia Ekosomoniade. One, let me state emphatically say Ubia ni Ghana ha or bro emraso. There's no single provision in the constitution any Ghanaian ebroso. And if in our constitution President Nekra Mpono can be impeached on certain grounds, Argentina, any other person or office holder cannot be removed. So, question I was will be so, and I know that as a law student, the reason why I want to ask and say you ask a simple question as a law student, and I say anybody who has a modicum of understanding, legal system, say CJ no. Is that position, because I'm not referring to Air Justice Tokono in person, but the CJ position, is it a removable position or not? Are there provisions or grounds which can trigger the removal of a Chief Justice or not? And who can carry a constitution and Article 146(6) It tells you specifically on grounds the process. Ubetimi ayede a remove a chief justice. So simple as that. Intinisa who want to say the CJ can be removed on certain grounds. You not even engage in certain arguments. So what is the argument about? Are we now saying say CJ position is untouchable and as such, look, the CJ position is a creation of the constitution, the same as a electoral commission, and also a creation of the constitution. So if say an electoral commissioner has been removed under the constitution and even the grounds the electoral commissioner only the grounds procurement infractions form part of the reasons. Procurement infractions form part of the reasons electoral commissioner Charlotte say procurement infractions were part. In fact, the core duties as electoral commission was not in doubt. Was never in doubt.
Yes, but in line of duty in procurement, there is a law governing that. When you are breaching the law,
more serious, brother.
What is required of you?
Mebao, on say Okokofa the Procurement Act. Now there are infractions. Emrana Ankasa ewo corrective measures. Then ewo. Go and read the Procurement Act. Emrana Ankasa corrective measures. Then ewo. But it formed the basis. IED in the Pakon then at the Esin chain. But as at that time, you see, my issue is you are a young guy, I'm a very young guy. You enjoy politics in Kwade, we will be surfacing your integrity ahead here. So if today you approbate and then tomorrow you will reprobate based on how at the near day a favor, then you are not being principled. Because because I want to be principled. On the issue of ABIA cocoa price, I am telling you, says you are even 50,000 Ghana cedis. I'm happy, isn't it? Based on principle, so I will be happy because cocoa cane it is high time you safeguard cocoa cane, even though there are issues. So if said today, the only argument you have to make is say if there is a petition. If there is the establishment of a prima facie, and prima facie can be established at any given point, it is never difficult. So by establishing a prima facie, it is never difficult. Then after the establishment of a prima facie, they go into the substantive matter itself to see if it warrants or it is enough grounds. See a bit in your head. You bet me across that or not. Intina me bebrebe ya ekosi. Amete lawyers of many standings and money. Then I ask myself, say, but for politics, would they do this?
What you was more kadeng?
Omoke kana president no what for koti kwambi so chenchina chen. So you ask them simple question. Say, then a president now ya a constitute an illegality. Ask a simple question to any MPP lawyer. What has the president done? A constitute an illegality. What? And say Bekafro, say any democracy, you run to Supreme Court to injunct the president of his constitutionally mandated duties. I mean, who even does that?
Kessben.
Who even does that?
But president is on rule according to his own whims and caprices.
No,
he rules with the law.
And I make a choice. And I may be say, you, you're a law student, and Yamiadum at the faculty level, that is where substantive law is being taught. When you come to the law school, a procedure. Substantive law na a constitution na Uwie LLB, you can call yourself a constitutional expert. Bisa who say which aspect, which provision of the constitution, and until now, President Naide, President Nebrichi, in relation to ACJ matter. Ask yourself.
Kessben.
Ask yourself, say, Monsieur me constitutional law. And same way by me cover me provisions. Going to look at even Article 127, talking about the independence of the judiciary, urban. Which provision in it? In a oman as we speak, why they were breachy? And I say what to tona say bia on farm ran yejuma, and I say bia or you help bent on say bia my main coffee, and I say sabi mami toko no nye president Mahama Busiani mami toko no sabi onko kanche ye mami lodina say jaukunu for you to say bia president Mahama nene ye day ewa an issue onye shi in free no ho but the issue nene say if say you were grounds to remove the president you were grounds to remove the president ebia people find say there was sufficient grounds so they will cause parliament to trigger data. I didn't think you think say any other office no there are reasons na petitions ba omunti menyesa inti minority no ne nsema omoka in relation to president na bonitimu pose obeyi inti yanka say omo bomutimu pose obeyi shalo so sayana
okay but that's
yanka say omo bomutimu po say ma mini din chine said den omobaye den omobeyi no and I said that no
very well
there are reasons there are grounds inti no say until say bia awa beka say na awa amame from ebia article 127 say your constitution the independence of the judiciary any provisions therein omanpenyina totona say omanpenyina breachi bi omanpenyini ayenia ensem fata I will admit
okay Gerald but that's so about so be
what's the problem
awa hona maintain awa ma maintain osimadu
yo me that's it Mamin, Kasa Medasepa for this opportunity. I think say me started the record street say Charlotte say was not removed because say a procurement breaches in Kwan.
I say it was part of the reason.
Yes, also chiefly the all can you naturally say no na na so kesia ye de
what I'm saying is it formed part of the reason. Okay, so that's what I said.
So young can say yet even though we antagonized her time a year elections thing which is normal for any political party in opposition. Any political party in opposition afarijan estati ejuma tem bia obia opposition bia ya attack no. And normal. And also buano krama ni na ejuma. So ya attack no in 2016. Ya for so ya say onye register wanye and a co-elections winning. It is true say yankro for air can say nyina de but obi anka hwe until ono George Napoko Amankwane Amadu Sule started a didi ho atem. This strike to the extent that they wrote letters to Ghana Web to publish. Charlotte say the late Amadou Sule 2 weeks ago waka baby. The late Amadou Sule according to Charlotte say illegal transfer be my NDC for OJ 5 million Ghana cedi. George Napoko Amankwa in charge of finance and admin was ono so agiskabi and George na beka say also what da ne ho procurement your procurement office nanso wo na wo tro letter friend crofo say omombeji adwumanye. These were the basis and I started here discussing on radio. So I had a discussion with you. We had a discussion on it. Oh, but it was just you publish we accuse so obi a competition and a share who say ampa mama no some procurement breaches. Oh, procurement breaches. Only what procurement breaches I say the man who's kasa koto bibi ena okoye no either say obugana fafa so anase why bibia etia mrane na keka ho eno nko akura timi ma obi ko jail. That was the reason Ankrofo say your procurement breaches no kran anka o say why ni na e de no ko jail a prosecutor no but I can say a be double jeopardy or ho a wo ye adwuma ena wo yi na di o san e de na ko because eno ntina we digital so yi na di nti eni say your prosecutor eno ntina ma one face prosecution kra. So that was the basis of okoy again send me no kind no cre say removal of article your first microphone or more job security public servant or more job security nyina including the president on okra do 4 years obetimi akọ ewo ho a bibia eni ho a eye your friend say enfonso wo mesan say nipa no wi adwuma otimi bibia beti amra do ye bibia beti amra etimi ni firo o ka sa under Mahama na mami a ono afa na adwuma your friend Mrs. Loretta Lamte of an adwuma as Shraj boss. Your fan adwuma as Shraj boss no okotena hotel. Emma busumi bia na etua over 100,000 edema hotel ho. Emma o magana shris kabibre. Nkrofo a petition Mahama Yenadi in 2015. Shraj boss Loretta Lamte Yenadi. She was removed from office. Under Mahama, no, Charlotte say is another example, and also these are the grounds in the account. But you see, Oshe a petitioner to remove this CGR. It doesn't make any sense. Oshe a petition sana. You don't need a lawyer. Yaliki obia can be Makanbi.
What kind?
Makanbi.
Produce.
No, I'm trying to tell you what is there. First one. Almost say or advise president, sir president and appointed judges and Fanka Supreme Court. That time we advise president to Kufuor say onye. Enunti she's a partisan judge. In the first place. That is the first petition.
Where in that petition? Where in that petition?
So the petition is not supposed to be in the public.
No,
yes, but it was leaked.
It was leaked by who? Where?
Okay, petition no in their home.
No, you can't make such allegations on.
No.
That is the first one.
Just imagine.
Yetimi appointed again.
One
reason, one petition, first petition.
At the country maker say, you see, at the country maker,
I'm sure you will not be happy about it.
No, only awaye minya pa me penance. Me person or exposing who.
The reason
me say the petition yaliki open petition be a messendi open petition a messendi full copies ni nyina ma. Open petition a me messendi copies ni nyina ma. Ya leaking out.
Mr. Right.
Enunti na ma up to now obi antimi leak from government and leaky out mo leaky because e frivolous. Bibi anyway said president appointee on that your friend say and some now kind the tosumienu ne say obi etofo a enye Biden Supreme Court na aka say enye Biden say obi tofo a yeye the toso am say all year juma see or presiding over a yibia contempt of court to be a okonye ho adwuma and also there is no way so obechi obi say essence why year juma as a judge inti obetimi atwena so ewo no. The third one area eno kra na eben seriousness kakra se okospendis kabia eye aban sika enye justify so ni babi akoye yi ni na keka ho, even though auditor general in the auditor report no enka bibia sa, but these are the only grounds. Estati you know,
according to you.
Yes, that is the grounds. Yesterday, you know, first thing I who send this for I and say, "Omo the video be by President Mahama kasa, President Mahama kasa no, obo ni din, yesi na ni masasa. Inti the bofu say president, abeye president, so on person president, be president." And these were the things that were circulated by not mere people, including one director of legal. Ed Digitamakulu published it on his Facebook page. Say on president asem inti president iboni di na wamuna. And these are the reasons. Say what justifiable reasons I was say yini firwa. Say na etimi yi Loretta Lamte. President na fan or NDC ni na omufa na adwuma. But who say wa bibia etiamra ye no as Shraj boss. Sa pepepe na yi Charlotte say when so ombro mraso say it was say you know. But be justified. And you know, I'm going to be a cocoa because you him say at the end of the say your man copy of a petition only be send a bear bit my respond say
but then you know that level yet. That conversation was, I mean, engineered by the minority.
That is what they are in court for. court no asefo akọ court sɛ emmra mu ɛwɔ sɛ yɛde ma no ansana yɛde akɔma for advice enti ɔkyena on the 6th of May sa decision ni beba because enra homo court judge ba ko amba these were the we are your friends asefo any ni lawyer Godfrey Dame court for attorney general was say obe respondo na omoye bibia na Supreme Court di interpretation ba because omo patch say we are farm money ninti process no error process null and void into Supreme Court enchirichiri nsem no the media they make an say baby NDC for a reset on minor kudru no omo reset to set a bad precedence. I don't expect Dr. Bawumia to come and do that in 2029. And some of us will berate him for doing that. Yem penekra, but himself, Dr. Bawumia, on yesa in 2029. Sir Obeba, na obi ayaye waye adwuma for the last 15 years as a director in an agency na Yinedi. Sir Obeba, no obi a yafa na adwuma wafa through the process wako boye teacher ni na you see nisi can start in mind Yinedi. Judges these are the things I'm here.
Now we see for mama.
In say am pass say public servants nyina baby a kan nyina judiciary. A partisan legislature a partisan party crana de executive by diaka e was say nyina ye garden with all the strength I the judiciary say ene obi ka say me ba ban mu na Supreme Court friends Chief Justice now also no me peno e was say me di nipa ba you're citing a bad precedence but then this for e can we before say e beto aba omo ekoshia say NDC lawyers omo can say omo be appointing Crawford to President Mahama can say obe appointing NDC lawyers to Supreme Court obey be judges ne keka ho okokan wo omo lawyers conference NDC for kan omo hubo omo kan say omo ye lawyers okokan wo ho enti ene se sa judiciary no so ye partisan emboa oman no it's not really about me MPP ni but pass ene obi a judge na yi ni firi ho na ekofa NDC ni se ono na embe judge what's Imran Trasi
beda se awa Mohammed na rebo my bro so da bin Chelsea man
na rebata na this is problem
the man you come on
Ose
so no so man brai
me kwara me judge amamo na makoma ye o Easter to be judge amamo na my mo politics Kwame
o chena na be start on so chena Good Friday
Kwame
over me jail
the article 44 clause 2-3 of the 1992 constitution HN acquire first way the electoral commission you understand then when the electoral commission and 1461 and so acquire first way the chief justice so when you read the article 44 clause 2-3 now or see the same terms and conditions of the service as the justice of the court of appeal, which is almost the same because the chief justice is also chief justice is a judge. You understand? So the chief justice is just separate from that. Kwame.
No, the chief justice is a judge, but he's a judge at the Supreme Court.
Wait, judge.
Wait, please. So you can't judge. You can't put all in a certain bracket. Wait, because you will.
That's what Chief Justice
you see, when we are talking about the judges, what is applicable to a judge at the High Court is not seen as applied to a judge.
That we understand.
Yes, so I just want to make that statement because so all kind in relation to Charlotte Osei and the reason
kind of removal and all
but I'm just making a point. Charlotte Osei's powers as being the commissioner of a electoral commission is as a sitting judge or the Court of Appeal. So what I said.
And not to the extent of the Supreme Court.
Not to the extent of the Supreme Court.
When you read the provision now, or say
that's okay. We shouldn't
to
split hairs on
remove
this one.
The EC is like in line with Sequoia Alpha so remove the Chief Justice. That's what the provision says. So before I bet me Kwame, there shall be a prima facie establishment. A tuition Madam Charlotte said the concerned workers of Electoral Commission are petition the President and the Chief Justice to begin impeachment of Madam Charlotte.
Yes.
Kwame, they told us the reason why impeach Mameno. They
don't impeach.
It was impeach. They wanted the woman to be removed. They wanted the woman to be removed. Kwame, Ebeko Chief Justice, Ebeko President one. Na adia into omu jina to say
obiate.
Yenyi na obiate. But this one is different. Kwame, we say no aye ka ho asemi. Our dear minim where you get it from, but that's fine. When you different. Memeti hano minim charges ye de abo maame no
ensese ba out
ensese ba bonten ena we don't know the defense